Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Rusty from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. We're just waiting for Terry to sign in. Yeah, I'm in, mate. We'll send Terry a quick picture. Hang on, turn the phone around so. Oh, he's here. Hello, Terry. We say the things that nobody dares say. www.boxersinneed.com. Welcome Estates. They're doing the business for boxers in need. If you can't afford it, you'll know somebody who will. Can you pass on the link and just help these boxers in need, like Gary's trying to do, and Peter Fury and people like that. All right, we're joined by Terry for part 3, a real bonus for all you Terry fans. You get some great comments in comment section, Terry. There's some not so great. I have to remove them. I do remove them when Cameron points it out because some of them are so vile. It's unbelievable. I mean, people actually set accounts up, Terry, to troll you on that day because we can get to look and see what when they set it up. So it's serious business trolling, isn't it? But this is how I look at it, Terry. 99% of them would love to be a couple of quid behind you, because I know I would.
But here's the thing, like, I don't read them.
I know that. I do.
Yeah. See, so anyone that's like, imagine that you're sat at home, right? You're sat at home, your life's going nowhere. You're like, yeah, look at that guy there talking about boxing and people are listening to him. Yeah, I wish that was me. I wish they listened to me because I know more than he does. Yeah, well, I'm going to ruin his day. I'm going to say something really horrible. And all it is just crickets because I don't read anything. I don't read any comments. Like, if you really want to get under my skin, commenters, find me in person and say it.
Terry, I've seen you. I've seen you on bag at shadowboxing at my cousin's in Skella. So I know you can fight, and you're a registered amateur trainer. So good luck to him. Obviously, you played very high level rugby, aren't you, as well? So, like, what are you weighing in at, Terry? About 17, Clem?
Ooh, no, I'm just under 17 now. I'm coming down, Russ. I'm coming down.
Obviously, and you're twice as stronger than me, man, because I've seen you in action. So it'd be a hard night's work on the hard road if somebody got stuck into you, wouldn't it?
But it's also, mate, like, but think about it, Russ. Imagine your whole life's purpose is to make someone else's life better than it was. Like, who does that?
Well, you've seen obviously some of the things I have to put up with. I mean,
mate, yeah, I don't know why you do, mate. Like, I always I don't know how you do it.
I've had people go up to my kid's mum not so long ago. I'm going back years when I first started doing this, saying that I was with certain women at a certain time, and she's gone, "No, you weren't," because he were outside on driving car, out his face with his mates, talking knackers all night with music on. So no, it's not true, but. Look, people invent stuff, don't they, to get under your skin. But I read them once a week. I get through them all once a week, and I just remove it. But it's nice to get 100 nice comments, but for every 100 nice ones, you're going to get 10 that are not so nice, aren't you? So,
no, do you know what I really like, Russ? Mate, I'll tell you what I really like. Right. I like it when I'm out and about and someone goes, mate, don't always agree with you on Porky's Corner, but I love what you and Russ do together. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, we've done a few. Hey, do you remember when we did that gig for Dennis at ringside with Porky pull-ups and all that?
Yeah, mate, look how far we've come since then.
We're nearly a decade on, kid, aren't we?
Mad, isn't it? Who would have thought it? This
Sting,
is like the least likely couple you'd ever put together in boxing, isn't it?
The Stig. You remember?
Oh, Stigmata.
Do you remember the first time I met you, Terry? And you were waiting on windowsill, weren't you, at Ponds Ford?
Yeah.
And I walked in with Dennis and I thought, where's he gone? And I went, oh, he's there. And you came over. You had a pint in your hand, didn't you? And I went and got wristbands.
No, wristbands, yeah.
But VIP. I said, come on, we're in here. So it seems like yesterday, doesn't it, that? But it's a long time ago, isn't it, I suppose?
Mate, listen, I'll tell you what. Like, you don't realize how quickly time goes till you look back.
Yeah, and this is a good thing. You can meet people on social media. And obviously Rico, and then obviously I went for an hat-trick dinner with that Michael. What happened to him?
Joe, I don't know, man. Maybe he's just earning some money or he's back in Eritrea. But
I hope he's all right. He's a mixed-up kid, isn't he? I hope he's all right in that. But
yeah, he was just, you know what? He was just the kid who didn't know what to do when he was under attack.
No, he never been set boundaries, had he?
Nah.
He's lucky it's lucky I'm a peaceful guy now. Like I said, don't want me now. Right, I'm asking about a few fighters here, Terry. Amzad Shiraz, what do you think to him? There's a lot of noise being made about him, isn't there? Has he been spoon-fed?
So we talked about earlier, right? There's not really much in the middleweight division, so he's come around at the right time.
Right time.
Like he could win a world title legitimately, and it would be a fair win. But yeah. So he's top 10 middleweight. I think there's an argument for him being a top 10 middleweight. So yes, they've spoon-fed him, but the guys that he's been spoon-fed, he's dealt with the way that we'd want him to.
Yeah, exactly. What is he 20-0 now about? He's about 20-0, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think he might be too tall for that weight, or do you think he might grow into a super middleweight? What do you think?
Well, there's no Triple G, right? There's no Triple G. There's no Canelo at 160, so he's all right for now, like being that lanky. But if there is a puncher, maybe Carlos Adames might be the puncher to test him. Maybe Denzel is. We'll find out then. But as long as he sticks to what he's good at, which is keeping it long and being devastating with those long punches, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what? Like with him, I'm prepared to be more positive because I'd like to see him succeed. They put a lot of money into Hamza Shiraz, right? So you want to see them get their money back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Joshua Buatsi, 18-0 against Willie Hutchinson. It's 2 week till fight week today. What do you think about that for a fight?
I think that could be an upset. I think Willie could be.
Yeah. What, Willie Hutchinson does him?
Yeah.
Who's training Willie now?
I don't know. It's not Flex.
It's not Flex, is it? Because he's left Flex. I mean, Flex has got nobody now, hasn't he? He's training fat accountants, isn't he? 60 quid an hour.
No, he's got Brad Goldsmith.
Is that it?
Yeah, but Brad's a good kid. Would like to see how far Brad can go. Maybe they'll push him on this year.
I mean, he's got no big stars. I mean, Kid Galahad's gone, world champion. Kell Brook's gone, world champion. Ryan Rhodes were retired years ago. Johnny Nelson's gone. That gym's depleted now. Do you think gyms go through phases where they're on top and then they have to regroup? A bit like Joe Gallagher. They were on top years and then it sort of went downhill. He had a bit of a fallout with Eddie and then he's regrouped. Do you think that's how gyms go? Sims's gym were on top for years. They're now not on top. What do you think?
Do you know what happens, Russ? Let's say you get 5 good fighters and they're around about the same age.
Yeah.
You got to focus on them through their career. So you don't really have time for new guys. And so if you're a smart prospect, you can see that. You're like, well, he's got 5 fighters aged between 24 and 27. He ain't going to have time for me unless I can put one of these guys away. Yeah. So those kids will go to another trainer. So another trainer then gets his 5, right? So then you kind of have a fallow period where you're looking for your next bunch of prospects. I think what happened with Sheffield boxing in general was there was no unity. So in the Brendan Ingle days, there was really just Brendan, Glynn, Howard Rainey.
Howard Rainey, he was involved with Clinton Woods.
Yeah, so you kind of knew where you were going in Sheffield. And then it broadened out and you had Smedley, Caldwell, Grant Smith, who else kind of proliferated from there as well? Can't even remember. But then you've graduated to guys like Ryan Rhodes having his own gym. Richard's got his own gym now. Clinton's got his own.
Richard Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, his gym's next door to Caldwell's.
Yeah. And so when you look at all of that, look at the diffusion that's happened there. Whereas before it was all kind of concentrated. And so I think that's what's weak in Sheffield boxing. And maybe it needs to get to a point where everyone starts working together. It's not about having fewer gyms, but everyone needs to start working together and sort of cut down on the backstabbing.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, isn't it? Moving sideways. But do you feel that there's some gyms that don't really get much kudos than they should in Sheffield?
Which ones?
I don't think Chris Smedley's gym gets coolest what they do in community. I don't think Glyn Rhodes' gym does, although Glyn Rhodes does a lot for charity. He's got an MBE out of the job. He does loads for charity. He's had British champions, Commonwealth champions, area champions. They don't seem to get the credit. No big stars want to go. Biggest star I've ever seen in Glyn Rhodes' gym was Lucian Bute when he came to train there for a week before he fought the Cobra.
Yeah, but this is where it's tricky. Glenn's a great community coach for me. Like I respect what he does community-wise and pulling amateurs through.
Yeah.
But he hasn't taken a pro kid over the top though, has he? He hasn't taken a pro kid to a world title yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. No.
That's the missing piece in
Training 34 years he's been a trainer. He's had Tommy Frank British title. Basically, Dennis bought that belt, and that's it. That's his CV. Why is that? It's supposed to be a good trainer. Why is he not? Is it because he's not an arse licker at these after parties and this and that? Because he just keeps his scent to himself. I don't know. Chris Smedley, same. Chris doesn't even drink, does he? Chris Smedley. Years.
Here's the thing. There's something extra about trainers who produce champions. And it's not about whether you know you're boxing or not at that point. It's about this. Can you build a framework that allows people to perform at the highest level?
Yeah.
That's unbelievably hard to do, Russ.
Yeah.
And so there are all sorts of different elements that come into it outside of boxing. So it's knowing about building the right culture. Do you know how to recruit the right people into your building to make sure you get the results, or you just recruiting your mates? There are so many elements to creating a really good gym. So if you look at, like I always say to people, Fitzroy Lodge, what made it strong, like when Mick Carney was there, Mick controlled who came in that gym. And Mick didn't really care what your background was. He cared about your attitude.
Yeah.
Were you a good listener? Did you act on feedback? Were you a good person in general? Were you ambitious? Did you know how to work hard? If you ticked all the right boxes, you were allowed in. And so what that meant was anyone you saw associated with Fitzroy Lodge, that's what kind of held them together. That's why we're held in high regard when we go elsewhere, because there were standards. And if you look now, all the young lodge guys who are coaching, our boxers are doing really good things because we all have those values. And a lot of guys just hire their mates into a gym because it's like, well, may as well. And so they never have high standards. You need consistently high standards and people around you who have those same standards, if not higher. And I think sometimes in gyms, and this isn't just the Glyn Rhodes thing, so I don't want this to be seen as me taking shots at Glyn. Boxing in general, you get a lot of substandard coaches who are just happy to be involved in boxing, and you'll never get champions doing that.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. Is Bricktop number one promoter in UK now?
Oh yeah.
Is Alfie Warren the next big noise at managing? Because I'm hearing him and Francis are making some serious moves behind the scenes at the moment on strength of how well the father and uncle are doing. What do you think?
I think Alf's been bubbling for a while. Like obviously, I've got a good relationship with Alfie, like really strong relationship with Alfie.
He's all right, him. He's all right, him. I used to DM me on when I was a Twitter man back in the day, and I remember I met him at Cardiff when Sheedy fought Tommy Langford. He's a decent kid, Dennis, because he's all right. Him and Francis are actually bang on, actually. So
yeah, all the Warrens are, because remember they're from that old school kind of North London Camden thing of be true to your word.
Yeah.
So here's what's happened, and I think this has been really smart by the Warrens. They're essentially a couple of streams, right? If you're a Moses Atalma, if you're a Royston Barney, for example, you're going to probably end up with Francis, right?
Yeah.
Like the kids they want to fast track, they're going to have with Francis. The kids they want to build a bit and give a bit of experience to, they're going to give Alfie and Warren Boxing Management. But you're going to see overlap between the two platforms, which I think is really good. A good example of that is Masood Abdullah, who's now going to fight for, I think it's the Commonwealth he's going to fight for on TNT Sport. and
Yeah.
he's come up the small hallway with Alfie, but now he's on to Frank's shows. And I like seeing that because it gives the kids something to aim for.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Can I give Richie Laws a shout out from up north? Hope you're well. Phil Jeffries. Hope you're all well, Phil. Phil handed his promoter's licensing, Phil Jeffries, Jaffa.
Well, it's hard to make money up there, right?
Well, they've put all prices, haven't they, board? So Phil says, nah, I'm not having that. He said, I've had my license. I think he's had it about as long as Dennis. He's not having it, Jaffa. So he wait. Obviously, you get your 10 grand back because you have to leave 10,000, don't you? On a, is it going to like an escrow? While if you're a promoter, they've got 10 grand of your money, haven't they, in an account?
Yeah.
Is it to do with a death or something? Or
yeah.
How does that work, Terry? Does that money lodge through something like Lloyd's of London for the if anybody dies? Like for instance, the young lad who died on Steffi Bull's show. Do you remember that kid who died?
Yeah. So there'll be different things. So
yeah,
you will take out insurance for your event anyway, right?
Yeah.
And that should cover those sorts of situations.
Yeah.
They'll cover things like cancellations, if there's a flood, all that sort of stuff that you can get insurance for. I think why you give the money to the board is to show that actually you're not just a clown, right? So if you can pull 10 grand down and deposit it with the board, then it shows you're serious. In the same way, football agents, I don't know if they still do, Ross, but they used to have to put 100 grand down with the FA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Steffi Bull retired as a promoter? I'm hearing he's not doing now. I mean, he's got all sorts of legal issues. I don't know if it's true, but I was wondering if you'd heard out.
No, not Steffi does. He's not in my kind of solar system of boxing, so I don't.
Solar system. Well, we're in space here, Terry.
Might be. Yeah.
So, it's Terry. Next time I see you, I'm gonna have you up here. Actually, we'll have a barbecue when the weather picks up. Next time I see you, I'm gonna give you it for that. It's nearly as that. Put hands on him. That quote that you always used to come out with.
Yeah, put hands on him. That's a line though. Like, you put hands on him, you put paws on him. Wow.
Pause. When Derek Chisora put hands on, he knocked it. We'll lose it fight again. Knocked him out. I forgot the attack him.
Yeah,
Derek put hands on him. I thought it was funny.
Touched him up nicely. Yeah,
I think it was him anyway. The media, I always give him stick, don't I? Simon Jordan and them. He's got Eddie on this weekend. They're having a third showdown, aren't they? Where do you see that ending? And he started out talking tough, and I got it wrong because I was like, "Oh, this is what we need, Terry." You were like, "Nah, he'll be softened up." He actually went out for a meal with it at Savoy or some posh hotel. They had cucumber sandwiches and all that, and tea and Crusher Ben.
There you go.
Crusher Ben's not showed us his dossier. Simon Jordan said, I've spoke to him, he's innocent. Total U-turn whatsoever after meeting him. But yet, we're over 2 years down the line. It's 26 months since the first test and 2 years since the second one. He's not proved his innocence whatsoever. But yet Simon Jordan's not even speaking about it now. Why is nobody speaking about it? Has it become that boring now that it's just slipped away, this story? I know I think about it, but
I think it just got to the point where we needed Conor Ben to go away, and he's gone away, so we kind of don't care. I've said it before. Simon Jordan was never a voice for the fans. Simon Jordan cared about Simon Jordan, right? So if you notice, like, we're getting this kind of drift into the cult of personality. Eddie's doing less promoting now that he doesn't have to promote Joshua versus Dubois because it doesn't really affect his money.
Yeah,
he's promoting himself, right? So he's now trying to position himself as like a media character. Like, we're now kind of signing up to the Eddie Hearn show. Simon Jordan's doing something similar. We're signing up to this Simon Jordan show. I don't know where all this stuff's going to go, but I've never rated Simon Jordan in terms of boxing. Like, when he talks about football ownership, I'll listen because he owned Crystal Palace. When it comes to boxing, the guy's absolutely clueless. When it comes to drugs and boxing, he's even more clueless. They all are, really. They're absolutely clueless. And the thing is, they refuse to admit that they're clueless and get people on board who actually know what they're talking about. So they just blag it. And too many people have allowed this to happen for too long. I don't see anyone calling out Simon Jordan for just being full of hot air. No one does that.
They don't, because he's got a platform, hasn't
Yeah, and people like Simon Jordan because he gets Twitter going, he gets social media going by saying ill thoughts out, ill-informed things. It's just what he does, I guess.
he? The Gad, he should know better because he's been around sport now 30 years, the Gad, hasn't he? Same as Bunce. Should they really know better recently? Recently, Steve shouldn't he? Really, but or is it because they've got the mortgages and this and that? I don't know. You know. I look at Gareth A. Davis and I read his stuff that he puts out, right? And I think to myself, the guy's obviously he's a bright guy. He's had a good education and obviously a lot better education than me. I left school. I didn't even do the last year, did I? I left it at 15. Well, Gareth A. Davis, he should know better. But some of the stuff that he does that's non-boxing, I think it's fantastic. But then his bias, it's out of control, isn't it, Terry? Favourite. Do you think he's been found out, and do you think TalkSport will get rid of him?
No, because he's a big enough character. He brings eyeballs to a screen. That's all it's about, Russ. If you can move the needle, you'll always work. That's why you find people are generally controversial, right? Because you don't get many views by trying to walk the straight line. You don't. So everyone's got extreme views one way or the other. That's how you get your clout. Then you just shout those views out loudly, no matter how ill-informed they are.
Okay. What's happening with Ellie Scottney at the moment? I'm hearing that she's going to be next big thing. What's happening with her, Terry?
Me and Elle talk every so often, so I know that there's some stuff behind the scenes that's happening. I'd say here's the problem in boxing. This isn't just an Ellie Scottney problem. It happens a lot in matchroom. You become quite expensive quite quickly at matchroom. So Ebony Bridges isn't the same boat. There's a certain amount of money.
What's happened to her now?
About to answer the question, Russ. She's too expensive to put on a show, right? So let's say you're doing a show in Leeds. You're going to put Ebony Bridges on there. And Ebony's like, I'm making numbers up here. I need 50 to 60 grand to box. And Hearn goes, I can get Hopi Price on for 25. I'll put Hopi Price on. I might try you on the next show, Ebony. So Ebony goes, I still need 50 to 60K to box. Then Hearn goes, I can get Junaid Bostan for 25. I'll put him on. Do you see what I mean?
Per amount of tickets that she does, yeah.
There's no economic argument for paying her what she wants on a matchroom show.
I remember first rough draft I did with Dennis. I went, here you go, Dennis. There you go. I think that's a good show. He went, ring them all up. And then as he was reading it, he went, he don't do tickets, he don't do tickets, he don't do tickets. And he went, and I was like, wow. Because it's a business, isn't it? I didn't get that for months. I didn't get that, mate. Because I was doing stuff behind the scenes thinking, with my heart, thinking, oh, that's a good fight, and not that. And it took me a while. And it only through being around people like Chris Smedley, Mick Whale, and people like that, picked all the brains. Because it ain't just about studying box rec, is it? There's got to be that balance, aren't there? What you just said there, I agree with you 100%. It's a business, boxing, that's masquerading as a sport. Does that sound right?
No, but everything's a business. I think the difference with boxing, Russ, is there's no real franchise in boxing. So no matter who plays, right, people are going to show up at Anfield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If they fight.
Yeah, because Liverpool's the franchise. So you could play for Liverpool, they'll still come out and cheer you, right? Boxing's not like that.
In afterlife.
So boxing doesn't have a franchise. So I have to be my own franchise. And the only way I can show I'm a franchise is by bringing in 1,000 tickets, 2,000 tickets. A good example of that is Johnny Fisher. Now, let's say Johnny Fisher loses his next fight. Will he still be able to shift 4,000 tickets? Probably not. And then he won't get the same level of attention that Eddie's giving him now. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah. Beefy Smith, Josh Kelly. Who you got?
Josh Kelly.
I've got
Yeah,
Kelly.
I saw the way Beefy had to shift.
I don't mind Beefy, but I was looking through his CV earlier. He's a former world champion, former British champion, but this is for European title. But he's been very carefully matched, hasn't he, Beefy? Come on. Former world champion.
Joe looked after him.
He should be on his knees saying to Joe Gallagher, I'm not worried, Joe. You've done well for me. And Callum, he's multi-Sufly, swimming in Cho Chai. He's well boosted up, isn't he, Callum?
Yeah, he is.
So you've got Josh Kelly on that one. Okay. You spoke about Johnny Fisher. Do you see him beating Wardley or it's Big Freeze? Yes or no?
No.
I don't. I think he's basically, I think he's just basically a gimmick. I think he's a gimmick like Dave Allen. I do. Do you see him beating Dave Allen? Probably because Dave's a bit past it now. But if Dave turns up, it'd be an interesting one. Okay. Joe Joyce, 103 rounds. It looks like it's all over for him. Is he 39 tomorrow?
That's not over for him. He'll fight again.
Is he going anywhere, though?
Listen, we said the same stuff about Derek a few years ago, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We said the same about Derek when Caballel done him, the bogeyman of the moment. They can't get a fight. Caballel can't get a fight at the moment, can he?
So, yeah, see, there you go. So I'd say there's always a chance, Russ, right? There's always a chance Joe could come back. Like, he could jump in with Parker, beat Parker, and we're right back to where we were.
Okay. Don Charles, Daddy Don. He's riding high with Dubois, IBF champion, although he got upgraded by an email. If they beat Anthony Joshua, that email and that Mr. Paper champion, they'll lose that tag. That'll go, won't it, if he does Joshua?
If he beats Joshua, he's a legit champion.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for Don. Look at Don's stable now. He's got, who's he got? He's got Daniel. He's got the young kid coming through, Harvey Dykes. He's got Tony Yoka. And I'm probably missing people that he's got that I haven't even thought about. But I'm happy that Don's got a high-profile stable. I'm happy that he's got raw materials to work with. So let's now see the trainer Don Charles is.
Yeah. Do you think Don Charles got a raw deal from Chisora? It says online they parted company 6 times over a decade. And each time Don went back. I've given him loads of stick for that, as you know. It's like your missus playing about behind your back 6 times, isn't it? You're not going to take her back 6 times, are you?
Well, only Derek paid what he owed. Like, I think Derek owes Don a lot of money as well.
Oh, well, Don won't be bothered about that if they beat Joshua because he'll be squids in, won't he?
Yeah, he's still it's that principle, isn't it, Russ? Like, you know me, I'm a big guy when it comes to integrity.
Yeah. What do you think to me at mountain bike, Terry?
What have you got?
I sent you it. Picture of it.
Oh, mate, now I've got to do 2 things at once.
My arse is killing me. I've only been out on it once. I might sack it to rustic.
Where do you send it? On here or on WhatsApp?
On WhatsApp.
I don't know if that's good. Is it even going to let me download an image?
Hang on a minute.
No. They haven't sent it yet.
Oh, I've sent you in a video. Let me just send you a picture of it. I don't know about mountain bikes, do I? 2 seconds. Well, garage who've got Volvo, obviously when I've gone down and said me bit, I went back with mountain bikes. Put me some air in, mate. I've been out on it. Mate. I've got a sore ass, but I'm going to try bike riding.
If you want to, mate, yeah, get some road tires. Those ones there will knacker you out. Get some road tires on your wheels. wheels.
What were tyres are tiring? It's a bike, Terry. What are you doing to me? I'm not. What's that guy that were cheating at Tour de France? I forgot his name. Lance
Armstrong.
I'm not going to be Lance. I'm a big Lance.
No, but you don't want to be knackered either. So you want something that's got lower rolling resistance. So you probably want some road tires on that bike.
Road tires for a road man.
Russ Hartley, the road tire killer.
Yeah. What's happening with Danaz, Terry? I know you're close with him. What's the juicy gossip? Is he still going strong? Because I kind of liked how he got to where he got. Old school. I've got a bit of time for him actually. That Danaz. What's happening with him? And how's starting?
So let's look, right. Last 2 fights, a loss and a draw, right?
Yeah.
I thought, and it's probably something I'll speak to Dan about at some point this month. Why they chose that as a comeback fight, I don't know. They could have got someone like a Joe McIntyre. They could have got someone like a Liam Cameron for a comeback fight, and that would have been acceptable.
Yeah.
So I think now that Dan's kind of got over that, it's now plotting his way back to the top. Which way do you want to go? Do you go Craig Richards' route? Do you go with whoever wins between Willie Hutchinson and Boazzi? I don't know. Do you go a completely different route? I don't know. But at this point, I'd be trying to protect Dan from being set up to fight Ben.
Yeah.
Ben Whittaker. Like, I don't want to see Dan being fed to anyone. I want Dan to have another year and a half where we try and get him to that world title level. And then after that, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's... I don't think he's going to win a world title now, do you, mate?
Look at the people who've got the belts. I don't think anyone apart from those two is going to win the world title unless they decide to retire.
Who would you put to beat Beterbiev? I know he's approaching 40, isn't he? But who would you say could do him at 175 now?
No one.
You know, the last person to beat him, do you know who it were?
Usyk.
Oh, yeah, done him twice, didn't he? Usyk, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Usyk's done Beterbiev twice, Joyce, and everybody else. That's how good Usyk is, isn't it? But would you like to see Beterbiev and Usyk at a higher weight, for Beterbiev?
He's not a big guy. So, like, Artur Beterbiev, like...
6 foot, isn't he? 6 foot?
No chance. I've stood next to him, mate. He is not that big. No? I was surprised, mate. I was surprised. Like, I looked at him, I went, if you saw Artur Beterbiev in your local shopping centre, you wouldn't look twice at it.
Terry, have you just topped me with your mountain bike? You just sent me a picture of your... Yeah. I got mine for free, though, but you've topped...
No, so
You've got 2!
Yeah, so I've got a Trek racing bike. So that's the old US Postal one. So that's like... that's a Lance Armstrong spec bike. And then the second one's my mountain bike, the M5 stump jumper. I just love the geometry on that frame, so I've never upgraded it.
Yeah, go on. You were saying about Beterbiev. Go on.
Small guy. That's why it's so impressive that he hits as hard as he does. And I don't think there's anyone that can live with his work rate at 175 and live with his power. Like, you're not handling both of those at the same time.
Yeah. Let's check how tall he is. He's a squat guy because he's quite stocky, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not massive.
He lives the life, though, doesn't he? Apparently, like Usyk. Hey, you're right. Yeah. He's 5'11".
I'd even argue he's probably 5'10", 5'9.5". He's small.
Well,
I mean, if you could stand him next to Ben Whittaker, you'd see how big Ben actually is.
Ben Whittaker walks around 195, he says in his interview the other day.
Yeah, he's big. He's big. He's big. Yeah, he's how he makes weight is beyond me, but Ben's big.
Well, Beterbiev's the only boxer in world boxing currently alive and who's a world champion, who's fought everybody he's fought and knocks every single person out. He's the only one with 100% KO ratio. I know you, Usyk, and all the rest of them. I think closest one to him is Tank Davis, and he's knocked them all out except 2, hasn't
he? Yeah.
So he's obviously a top guy. Beetlejuice 2 is out on Friday. I'll be going to see it at some point in next 4 or 5 days. I saw the first one last night. But watch this one. Are you into all like that, the afterlife stuff, Terry?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
I can't believe I got talked into it, but hey ho. And I'll be going dogs, I think, next week. Do you like going dog racing, Terry? I'm trying to do different things now. I'm not giving it the old, you know.
So I've been to the dogs before. It wasn't really my thing. Like I was like, whatever. Yeah, dog number X1. Yeah. I don't know. What do I even like? I like stuff where I'm involved. I like to be involved in stuff. Right? I'm a terrible watcher.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Are you still going to Lodge?
Pop in every so often. I don't train there anymore, so I'm at a different club. So I just pop in to go and see mates and say hello. We're trying to, I've got a kid at my gym who's got a bit of a rivalry with the kid from their gym. So we're just trying to Eddie Hearn the whole thing for March next year.
Yeah.
We have a big showdown, the rematch.
You and Eddie, you like Eddie, don't you? You like Bean, don't you? Bean's back, isn't he?
Well, don't be surprised if he's not back at Sky soon.
Somebody said something to me the other day about that. I said, hey, listen, Bean will work his way back in at Sky. But this is how I look at it. Bean said he was leaving Sky to try different things, and then he ends up taking a job in boxing. We obviously easy in them. But I'd be
what's going on with them?
I don't know. They're still going strong, aren't they?
A lot of the shows they said would happen haven't happened. Like we thought there'd be more shows now.
Well, listen, I used to every Monday morning. Dennis used to say to me, "Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that." I said, "Dennis, you said that last week. Yeah, I've got something bubbling. Stop kicking off you and upsetting people." I said, "Dennis, you're full of shit." Got something bubbling, but I know Max is out on October 19th. He's got the Merc V8 Merc, brand new, 50 bags worth. He's got the size. He's 22 clem. He's got the slots. We ain't got an opponent. What's happening with Max?
Just needs to box a bit smoother. I saw a video of him training the other day, and it wasn't smooth. It was all clunky, and I was like, "You're too big to be that clunky. When you're smooth, they'll feel the weight of your punches. When you're not smooth, it's too much effort. So he just needs to smoothen out his work."
Well, he's now. He's not Max. You're not on box rate. He's not on box rate. Max, has he been took off again? Oh, Max. You know what I said to Max? Look, Max, you keep being announced on Fight Zone on their website as you're going to be on this show and fighting this person. And then in fight week, no, what happens? Is he being paid lip service by his system, or do people fear Big Max?
I think people fear Big Max. So I heard Turkey offered Big Max to Joshua. Joshua said, "Can I fight Dubois instead?"
So they're all swerving Big Max, are they?
At the world level, yeah.
Oh, bless him. Right, we're out of time. We've done 3 parts, Terry. They'll all be impressed by this. They love a good Terry.
Maybe it's a lot of work rate today.
3-parter. Listen, mate, the work rate is unbelievable on Mondays. The problem is when I get to Tuesday, I'm like, pub's calling. Hey, listen, I were in, I forgot the name of it now, up near BMW site at Tamworth. We're in this pub, Bunce goes in it. Somebody said, Steve Bunce comes in here all the time. Oh, he's not in here today. So I might pop down there because he gets dark. He ain't got a Bunce don't drive, you see, does he? So if I see him in there, I'm going to leave it, put a pint behind bar for him. I'll pay him one on a Buncey. So he's all right. We'll have a laugh. So, okie dokie. Well, listen, have a great Monday. What's left of it, and I'm
you too, pal.
Cracky on now and get on my bike. What can you do to stop your arse aching on bike? Just not go on it, Terry.
Exactly, that's it. You just got to ride until you just become numb to it.
Go on then, lad. You take care. Love you to death.
All right, take care, pal.
Good night. Bye. Well, that was Terry from. I think Terry's from Zimbabwe originally. I think he is. Yeah. To come over here with his mum and that into another country, I think that's fantastic. Sheffield uni, and then end up, some big banker in London. It's really good, isn't it? And trains amateur fighters, puts something into community. Comes on here, So good kid. So I hope you enjoyed this video with Terry. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Don't forget Pokers International, our sister channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe to that. Have a little look at that channel. I think it's fantastic. Don't forget Gary's boxersinneed.com appeal. All right. Put a lot of time into that, Gaffy. So back it. And if you can't back it yourself, you'll know somebody who can. So pass the link. Go on. Booyaka.